Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Albuquerque Aliens Draft to Glory franchise mode here in NHL 25. So, in last episode, if you didn't catch it, we had our best season yet in franchise history with a record of 60, 19, and 3. We also won our first ever President's Trophy, so it was a very successful season for this team in terms of regular season at least. Hopefully that transitions into the playoffs quite well, but like I said, it was a really, really good season. We finished 6 points above the next best team, which was the Florida Panthers, and everything pretty much worked well for us. I'd say our penalty kill was the one only problem our team had, but obviously it could be addressed obviously going forward, or maybe it'll start simulating better. But you can see we scored 3.7 goals for per game, which was 4th best in the NHL. Goals against wise, despite the amount of injuries we were suffering throughout the season to our defensive core, also our bottom six, offensive core, that type of thing, we were the second best defensive team in the entire league with a 2.72 goals against, so that's pretty damn solid. Our power play was also up there in terms of the league, 20.4%. However, like I was mentioning, the penalty kill for some reason wasn't very good. I don't know if it started the season off really bad or something like that, but you can see 82.8% is all the way down here. So we're way below I'd say we're like just below the halfway part of this entire league. I don't know exactly where we finished, but our penalty kill needs maybe a little bit of work too. We only scored 4 shorthanded goals this team, but to hit 60 wins in a season and have 30 wins on home ice and on the road is pretty damn impressive. So I don't really care that the penalty kill was doing bad, but obviously hopefully it finds itself in the playoffs. You could also see during the regular season we almost had 200 point guys because Staubitz technically was on pace for over 100 points if he didn't get injured. We also had other guys on our top line like Kolars do really well. Steen was pretty good for a second line center. We had Narena pick up 59 points, so he was actually better than Tuzolino, which kind of surprises me completely because way better plus minus and all that. So I'm very happy with those two defensemen. And then we got some decent depth scoring with like him, Peterson. Doig was a little bit of a disappointment, I'd say, this year, but I think last year he was good in the playoffs, if I remember right. Let's double check. Yeah, he had 20 points last year in the playoffs, so I'm expecting him to maybe be more of a playoff performer than a regular season guy. And then, yeah, basically we got some other good depth scoring. So just in general, I've been pretty impressed with this team. And I'm really hoping that obviously in the playoffs that we could do good as well. And you can see also the goaltending situation. I was very happy to see Spezza finally find himself. Because obviously during the regular season, he's been posting below 900 save percentages for his first 3 seasons. Last year in the playoffs, he had a 916. This season, he had a 916. And then you also had Gianna on a 922, so both goaltenders did really well, all things considered. Technically, Spezza is good enough to almost win a Vezina, but in terms of the entire league, I was looking, and unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be able to win it because, as you can see here, Jamie Mancari of the Columbus Blue Jackets posted a 920, but Wallstead also had like a 917. So I'd say Spezza probably was like a finalist for the award, but could not win it this season. So at least we had some guys up there for potential chances to get awards. I don't know if we're going to have any hardware this season. It really depends if Ristolainen wins the Selke or not, but in general, I just think it was a great season, and it was kind of nice because I didn't give any player goals for everybody this season. I think it took a lot of pressure off the guys, and it gave them a chance to perform best as they could. Now we could obviously start doing more player goals and stuff like that in future seasons and all that, just so we know kind of how these players simulate a little bit more without those goals, and we could kind of know what their strengths are and their weaknesses. But anyways, before we get into a first round matchup with the St. Louis Blues, let's get in your guys' comments, see what you guys have to say about last episode. Then we'll take a look at what the Blues look like again, and then get into this first round matchup, and hopefully we do not get cheesed after we won the President's Trophy. So the first comment is from Ryan the Sharky, who says, strategy, always give players full movement, no movement clauses to save money since you aren't moving them anyways. And yeah, I probably should do that. I was meaning to maybe do that with Ristolainen, I didn't end up doing that, but at least we're not paying Ristolainen a huge chunk more than he was getting paid before, because this season you could see 9.125. He only went up by technically $2.5 million, which is not really that much considering he puts up a good chunk of points. So he's locked up for the next 7 seasons, which is great, but obviously we should be trying to give guys clauses so that way we could save a little bit of money more going forward, because obviously we're going to have to be starting to pay guys like Kim. Del Monte is going to be a UFA in the next few years as well. Like, there's definitely some money that's going to be coming off the books, and we're going to have to make some tough decisions going forward. So hopefully we can win a Stanley Cup while this team's pretty competitive, because I don't know if this is the type of draft to glory team that could basically contend year in, year out. Like, even Spezza's a pending UFA this offseason too, which I didn't even realize. So that's probably why he played good this season. So maybe we let him go. Maybe Gianta becomes a starter next season, because we do also have another elite goaltender in the minors, or 2 elite goaltenders, I should say. So Maybe Spezza isn't his last time here. Honestly, don't know. It really depends on what he's trying to get. Like right now, if we go to contract extension, he's trying to get an 8 by 8.8. So I don't know if he's going to come back, but it's going to be really interesting to see if we could afford to bring him back. I honestly didn't know he was a pending UFA. I thought he was going to be a pending RFA again, but we definitely have to spend some money this offseason again if we want to keep this team potentially competitive. The next comment is from Joseph D. Miller, who says, congrats on the 60 wins. Always are agreed to always use the NMC when doing big deals for players. You know who you'll be keeping. It saves a good amount of money. And yeah, hopefully we start doing that more often. Obviously, the next big guy to come off the books, I think, is, probably Del Monte, technically. Also Steen, too. So hopefully those guys aren't going to cost too much money for us. But obviously, if they are going to cost us a bit, we could give them a clause. And then basically, maybe we could save like $1 million or $2 million on their contract and then have them signed. It depends on, I guess, their organizational interest, because obviously if that organizational interest is low, there's a higher chance that we'd end up losing them, probably even if we do give them a clause. So we got to hope that we give these guys good interest in their organizational interest, the contract interest as well, and then hopefully they'll stick around with the team. In the last and final comments from Sour Talk, this is an outstanding season despite the injury issues. Not sure Kim or Doig has much of a future with this team given their low production despite having top 6 ice time. See if you could take Zetterberg out of the lineup and use Bure instead since the latter was better defensively. So he's saying to take out Zetterberg and bring in Bure into the lineup as a full-time player. That's probably something we could lean towards doing. I do think both of them are in the lineup right now, though, for Game 1, just because Staubitz is currently battling an injury. I forgot to mention about that. He will be back for Game number 2, but right now he will not be in the lineup. I guess I could take Ahinen off the top line for the time being, because Ahinen was thrown in instead. And then we will put Bure in... Where is Bure? Am I blind? I feel like I'm blind. Oh, Bure is injured too. I completely forgot about Bure getting injured too. Well, once Bure is back to full health, we'll throw him in as Zetterberg, I guess. I completely forgot that he got injured in last episode too. Like, we just suffered a lot of injuries. Tulipov is also out for a little bit of this, actually for the entire first round, because he's out till, I think it was May. So we are battling a lot of injuries to start the playoffs despite our great regular season. So I am a bit scared that we are going to get cheesed because obviously those injuries are going to play a major factor maybe. But once Staubitz is fully healthy and ready to go for Game 2, maybe he'll help us out a lot. But right now, we're going to have to rely heavily on other guys that are not doing too much, like Doig and all that, to help us win some games early on in the series, potentially. So let me once again show you guys what the St. Louis Blues look like again, just in case you forgot. And then we will get into this first round and see if we could keep the momentum rolling, or are we going to get cheesed? Because if we get cheesed, I'm going to be kind of mad, because his team should be able to win a first-round matchup, but honestly, after winning a President's Trophy, this game could literally knock us out in the first round, and I wouldn't be surprised either. So this is the St. Louis Blues. You can see they're a pretty solid team for obviously making, I guess they were one of the last teams to make the playoffs, but they have Peltier, Dvorsky, Martone. Second line, Robert Thomas, Kennens, and Doug Kincaid, who is new this season. They also have Kabanov, Bolduc, and Olsen, and a fourth line of Harvey, Frost, and Hagel. So we did play them last year in the first round. I think a lot of these guys are kind of newish, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I know Kincaid is. I think Kabanov's new as well. He came over from Pittsburgh, it looks like. I feel like Mateo Harvey might be new too. Yes, he is. He also came over from Pittsburgh, looks like. So there is a lot of new faces on this team, so it's a bit different than when we played them last season for sure. But they do still have this really good top 2 pairing of Landon DuPont and Antti Lappilainen that we have to go through. So hopefully Landon DuPont doesn't really do much against us. How was he this season? 63 points plus 56. Damn. All right. That's interesting. And in the playoffs, his first few seasons, he's been under point per game, but this guy is definitely a really good threat. So a little bit worried about that, of course. They also have Kesselring, Lindstein, Lading, and Iorio. So not a bad defensive core, but it's definitely not as strong as some other teams he's played before. And then their goaltending is a little bit weak. They could go to either goaltender in Hofer and Ravensburg, as both are 80 overall. So I don't really know. Technically, I think we have the upper hand, but obviously the injury trouble might make us a bit worse than them technically on paper right now. So I'm a little bit scared, but we got to hope that we could find a way to beat them, keep the momentum rolling. Like I said, it was a really good regular season. If we get swept in the first round, I'm not going to be happy at all. So let's see if we can find a way to win the series, keep the momentum rolling from Spezza's great regular season in net, our good defensive play, our good offensive play. Like, I definitely think we have all the tools to win a Stanley Cup this year, but it comes down to if the game actually wants to give us a chance to win one. So Let's see what ends up happening. Like I said, we'll get Stubwitz in for game number 2, but right now I don't want to risk him getting re-injured again, because considering we already have a lot of injuries on this team, we can't really sustain any more of them, or else our team's going to be in a bit more of a tough spot. So let's get into game 1, see what we can do here on home ice. Obviously, we're going to have home ice advantage the entire playoffs because we won the President's Trophy, so that's at least hopefully going to be helpful for our team going forward. Anyways, first period, game number 1. Scoreless, I'll take it. I mean, we are being outshot 16-7, so that's not a great first period in terms of generating chances and maybe giving up too much chances, but so far Spets is off to a good start. Hopefully he has a good playoffs again like last year, because last year he was a bit inconsistent, but the .916 save percentage definitely showed to me at least that he could play well, and then he brought that into this year's regular season too, so he has been good as of late. Let's see if he can keep it up going forward. Second period. 2-1 Blues. Not great. We do open the scoring. It is Rick Kim, so good to see Kim on the board early in that second period, but we give up 2 goals. One was literally 10 seconds later or 11 seconds later after our goal, so literally we didn't have the lead for too long. Then Peltier scores 8 minutes later, and the Blues lead by a goal despite outshooting us 28-14. So we're lucky that Spets has been playing good. We definitely need to not give up as much chances as possible going forward, and we need to generate more chances of our own. Let's see what happens in period 3, see if we could tie this game up, get it to an overtime situation at least. Come on, boys. Let's tie her up. We're definitely the better team, but Marteau makes it 3-1 Blues. I feel really unsafe just because we won the President's Trophy, man, and Ladine makes it 4-1. Oh, boy. Now the floodgates have opened. Well, we're going to lose game 1 for sure, so that means we're going to need to find ways to win in St. Louis, or else we're going to be in a tough spot. This is not the way we want to really start off the first round after a great regular season. We lose 4-1. We got a shot 42-23, so I'm not pinning that game on Spezza. That's our defense for giving up too much chances, and then we could not score, so hopefully with Stubwitz coming back into the lineup, that could help things a bit. But we opened the scoring, Kim from Norena, and then afterwards, Dalibor Dvorsky took over basically because he had 4 assists on all 4 of their goals. So not great. Any badly minus people on team in that one? Couple -2s, those being Tuzolino, Bell, Peterson, Norena, Doig. Actually, Norena's -1 only. Any plus players? No. And a 905 from Spezza. Yeah, like I said, Spezza was okay in that game. I'm not putting that on him. I think we just gave up way too much high-quality chances, and that played a huge factor in that first game of the series. So I think we definitely need to get our lines reconfigured here, because Stubwitz should be healthy for game 2, if I'm not mistaken, I think. And then we will be able to hopefully get him to get the top line going again like it was during the regular season. Because scoring 1 goal in a game is not ideal. It's not ideal. So we'll take Ahinen out. Stubwitz should be fully healthy now, I think. Yes, he is. Perfect. Okay, good. And anybody else that I want to take and put in the lineup? I can't put Bure in yet. Tulipov, I can't either. I feel like those injuries are going to come back to bite us. Ahinen, I could probably throw him in, but I don't think I want to because I don't want to use him as a winger. Zetterberg was okay in his first game of the playoffs, so we'll probably keep the rest of this the same. Just the only addition to Stubwitz obviously being back in the lineup. So any badly minus people? It was the top pairing. Maybe we separate the top pairing. And -2 if I do that. What about if I move Hurd up? -3. I could move Hurd up and put Lee down on that top 6, but because Hurd is a two-way defenseman, it probably makes sense to have a DFD next to the offensive defenseman in Whitfield right now. So let's do a little bit of a swap up on defense, so that way maybe we give up less chances. We'll keep with Spezza for now, but obviously Giunta is on standby mode. Maybe he gets to play his first ever playoff game this year too. So let's get to game number 2, see if we can get a good response, because like I said, if we lose both of our home games, we're going to need to find ways to win in St. Louis, or else this is going to be a very tough hill to climb for our roster. Also, if you didn't notice, you probably did notice I did get a haircut the other day, so that's why my hair looks a lot different. My facial hair is a lot shorter. I don't even look like the same person sometimes. It's kind of funny. But anyways, let's get to game number 2. See if we could tie this series up and get a much better performance in terms of giving up chances, and much better effort in terms of the offensive side of things for our team. First period, game 2. 1-0. That's a good start. Kim opens the scoring again. So Kim is the only player on our team right now that's been able to find the back of the net on Joel Hofer, which is interesting. Shots are 16-10 in favor of us, so that's a good first period in terms of generating chances. Didn't give up too much chances either, so hopefully we could score some more goals, because right now Joel Hofer's been really solid in the series against us. Maybe he's a cheese goaltender, hopefully not, but let's find a way to get some insurance in period 2 if we can. Second period. 2-0 us. Good. We got some insurance a little bit from the youngster and Cashman. That's his first playoff goal. They did actually completely outshoot us in that second period, because they were on 10 shots. Now it's 25-24 in favor of them. So they are definitely pushing to try and tie this game up, which is a bit scary. But we have a 2-0 lead going into the third. Let's see if we can get some insurance, make us feel a little bit more safe, and let's lock down the rest of this game if possible. Third period underway. Power play for us. We don't score on it. Penalty kill. And they get a power play goal from Olsen, so our penalty kill struggle still into the postseason a little bit. Penalty kill again. Stop taking penalties, boys. Thank you. Power play again for us. Can we get some insurance? No, we can't. Final 5 minutes of this third period. Can we lock this one down? Come on, boys. Yes, we can. 2-1. I mean, it's not the best offensive effort again, just like game 1, but this time around, at least we escaped with the victory. They outshot us 36-35, so Spezza definitely trying to play really good in this playoffs for a chance to win a lot more money or something like that in the offseason. I don't know if I'll bring him back at an 8 by 8.8, but we might have to. Honestly, it depends. I would probably prefer not to, just because Giunta and stuff, but honestly, we might be stuck doing that. I mean, next season we could run Giunta and Semenov, but Spezza, it's really tough to say right now at this point. Anyways, Kim from Steen and Del Monte, Cashman from Tuzolino. So the rookie gets the game-winning goal technically in game number 2. Tuzolino was a +2 in that game, so much better response from him defensively. And then, of course, a very, very good game from Spezza with a .972 save percentage. So Spezza's showing a little bit of glimpses of last year's playoff success, which is nice. He gets first star, Hofer the second star, and Cashman the third star. Not too bad. Like I said, I don't really like our offensive play in the series so far, because we've scored less goals technically than them through 2 games, but we have a tie series, so we can't complain too much. So now the question is, can we win games in St. Louis? Obviously, since they took one of our games on home ice, I would like to take one of their games on home ice if possible as well. But first and foremost, before I do that, I do want to go to settings here. I do want to make sure that the injury thing is basically set to when players are fully healthy, because it's kind of been annoying. They have been coming back and they aren't fully healthy, so I want to make sure that's actually set to that way, because I prefer them to be fully healthy before they're actually back in our lineup. I don't know if I could even adjust that right now. Let's see. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, see, I thought I adjusted this though, where they have to be fully healed first. I don't know why that got readjusted if it did, but I want my players to be fully healthy before it actually notifies me, because or else they're going to end up getting re-injured, and then we're going to lose guys for longer term deals, so that's not good. All right, I think we're ready to get to game 3, but like I said, we need to win a game in St. Louis considering they took one of our games, or else we're in a tight spot. So can we find a way to win on the road? Obviously, we had 30 regular season wins on the road and on home ice, so we are a good team away from our own building as well. Let's see if we can continue that into the playoffs as well. And hopefully Spezza can play 2 straight good games. First period, game 3. That's what I'm trying to say. Scoreless. Okay, I'll take it. I mean, our offense still has been very bad to start the series in terms of scoring consistently. But as long as we hang around in games, we could still win them. Shots are 13-12 in favor of the Blues, so pretty even first period in terms of chances, and of course in goals. Can we break this deadlock in the second period and get ourselves a lead? Second period. 3-1 Blues. Oh boy. We are being outshot now 32-18, so they completely blew us up in that period in terms of chances, and rightfully so because of these 3 goals. Bolduc, Peltier made it 2-0. Stelbutz pulled us within 1, but Dvorsky restores that 2-goal advantage. This game is definitely not on Spezza either. We're just giving up a lot of chances in some of these games. Not great at all, but we are still in this game. We're only down by 2, so if we could score a goal early in the third, we could definitely come back still in this one. So let's see what happens in period number 3. Come on, guys. Power play for us. It's a 5-on-3. We score a goal from Del Monte. That's exactly what I asked for. Can we get the tying goal now is the question. Come on, boys. Yes, we can. Ristolainen, the team leader in points, ties it up at 3. That's exactly what I was hoping for from this team in the third period. And Arena gives us the lead. I was not expecting that one. I thought we were going to go to overtime or something. And a huge third period from your Albuquerque Aliens gives us a 2-1 series lead. And it's another close game. I mean, the Blues have definitely given us a good run for their money despite us being a President's Trophy team. But we have our first lead of the series. They outshot us 42-34. So a bad second period, I would say, from the team in front of Spezza. But he locked it down in the third. And our offense was able to score more goals than they're used to. That's an okay game. I don't like that we were trailing, to be honest, going into the third. But I like that we came back and showed some adversity. So Stubwitz from Ristolainen and Kolarz, Del Monte from Kim and Peterson, Ristolainen from Stubwitz and Spezza. So Spezza picking up an assist. Love to see it. And in Arena with the game-winning goal from Stubwitz in Ristolainen. So Stubwitz definitely playing a factor being back in the lineup, which is really good to see from our captain. 3 points from him, 3 points from Ristolainen. Those are two guys we're going to heavily rely on in terms of offense, I think. Some minus players on our team, but that's all right. And then goaltending at 929 from Spezza. Yeah, Spezza has definitely proven himself to being a pretty damn good playoff goaltender, I think, these last 2 years. So Ristolainen first star, Stubwitz the second star, Porter Martone the third star for them with 3 assists. So he was definitely their best player. All right, so we did take a win on the road. That's great to see. Oh, no, not another injury. That's the worst thing we could see. Our top line was doing good, too. Matej Kolarz has been injured with a pulled groin. He'll be out till May the 3rd. So he will be out for the remainder of the series. So the injury troubles continue into this playoffs. That's going to be really tough. That's going to be really tough considering he's one of our best offensive guys on the team. We're going to have to rely on guys like Ahinen being in the lineup and all that. So we're going to go to Del Monte on the top line. I guess we'll go Doig into the top 6 now. And we'll go Dag on the third line, I guess. I mean, I don't really know if that's a good option. I can move Ahinen into center and Cashman to the wing, but Cashman is getting much better on faceoffs. He's up to a 78 on the draw, so maybe I'll keep him in that spot. But I kind of feel like Ahinen could be a good faceoff taker to put there. And you know what, we'll try that out, I guess. A little bit of an adjustment, but it definitely sucks about that injury. Definitely sucks. I'm not sure if Del Monte is good enough for the first line. He's listed as a first line forward, and he's got 2 points through 3 games, so maybe that'll help him out a bit. And the rest of this will stay the same, but the injury troubles. Bure technically is almost fully healthy. Once he's fully healthy, I'll probably throw him in instead of Ahinen. And then basically Cashman will go back to center. Dag will go back to the 4th line. Bure will slot in probably on this 3rd line with Peterson and Capaduca is what I'm thinking. But obviously I want to make sure Bure is fully healthy first, because if he gets re-injured, then that's even more problematic. So that's a pretty big blow to lose Kolarz. We have had some major injury troubles this season. You can see a pulled groin from Bure. Tulipov has an upper body injury that's lasted multiple months, which is kind of insane. I don't know what type of upper body injury he had, but it's been a tough year for this team. So hopefully we can fight that adversity. Obviously, we won the President's Trophy with an injury-riddled team. We can win a Stanley Cup with an injury-riddled team. We just got to keep on winning games and get ourselves out of this first round, and anything could happen at that point. So let's get to game number 4. We're going to keep the team the exact same for the most part, other than obviously Kolarz coming out of the lineup because of his injury. Let's see if we could take a 3-1 series lead on the Blues after they took game 1. Come on, boys. Let's take both their home games. That would be awesome if we could. First period, game number 4. Scoreless, okay. I mean, that's a good defensive period again. Like I said, our offense has been super inconsistent, but I do like the way that Spets has been playing in his playoffs so far. Like, he's had pretty much every game so far a strong game. Game 1 obviously wasn't the best performance, but he did face a lot of shots. And I think that was more because of our defensive core than anything else. But shots are 11-9 in favor of the Blues. It is a 0-0 game after 1. Can we find a way to score first in the second period? Second period? They open the scoring. Not great. Lindstein. We are only down by a goal, though. And I was shooting him 24-18. So we're still in this game for sure because of Spezza and all that. But our offense needs to wake up a bit. There's been a lot of one-goal games in the series. Can we find a way to tie this game up in the third period and give ourselves a chance going forward? Let's see what happens. Come on, boys. Penalty kill here in the third period. Nicely done, penalty killers. Penalty kill again. Stop taking penalties, guys, especially in the third period, because that's just going to take a lot of time off the clock. And Hurd scores his first career playoff goal after all those penalty kills. I was thinking it was short-handed at first, but that's a huge goal from the young defenseman to get this game tied up. Absolutely huge. And we're going to overtime in Game 4, so this is a pretty substantial overtime. Obviously, if we win this game, we take a 3-1 series lead. If they find a way to win, we're back to square one again, tied at 2, and then it's a best of 3 going forward. So, who wants to be the hero for us in overtime? Let's call on somebody completely random, and like somebody like Ahinen, who's only in the lineup because of injury. Maybe we'll call up on him and see if he could be that type of guy for us here in overtime. But let's see what happens. See if we could take a 3-1 series lead and get another win in St. Louis. Come on, guys. I believe in yous. I believe in yous. The Blues tie the series up. Dalibor Dvorsky, who's probably been the best Blue in the series, wins the game for them. That's not on Spezza. That's probably more on the offense for not generating enough goals. But unfortunately, it's going to be a best of 3 going forward. Yikes. It's been inconsistent so far, this team. Heard from Capaduca and Doig is our only goal. Any badly minus people? Probably not, right? There's no -2s. Yeah, no -2s. Spezza, again, posting a really good numbers, 946 save percentage. So he's giving us a chance to win every single night, but we aren't getting that consistent offensive effort, which I think was pretty much the story last year in the playoffs, too, if I remember right. We just could not find our offense consistently enough to get ourselves as far as we wanted. Literally, all these games have been decided by 1 goal except for Game 1. So technically, we could have got swept at this point. So we're lucky that we're still in the series, but we need the better offensive effort going forward here. Let me see edit lines here for a second. I don't think Bure is back yet, unfortunately. Let's see what we could do here. Yeah, Bure's not back yet. Obviously, losing Kolars is a pretty big blow. Well, but go with Doig on the top line for something different. Aside from that, I don't think there's much I could do. I could probably throw Spezza, or not Spezza, Zetterberg onto that third line instead of Dag. Because that Ahinen's technically a right-handed shot, so playing him on the right wing might make sense. Yeah, we'll go something like that, I guess. That's okay. And then from a defensive standpoint, any badly plus minuses so far? Ooh, a -3 from Norena. Has been better offensively than some of these guys, though. But there's not really much I could do in terms of readjusting these lines too much. I could swap him and Zach Hurd, even though Hurd just scored last game. Goaltending will keep us Spezza. Spezza's literally got a 936 in the save in the series, so Spezza may be our MVP so far up to this point. Aside from that, I think we're going to keep the rest of the same. But we do need guys like Stefan Steen to really start showing up, because obviously great regular season player in offense, but look at his playoffs in terms of his career. Only 6 points and 1 goal in 28 games. He's not a playoff guy by any stretch. So we need Steen to arrive. We need a couple other guys. Probably Capaduca to arrive. Yeah, Capaduca as well. Like a lot of those guys that are good during the regular season really just take a backseat in the playoffs. So we need our depth to start showing up in the postseason as well if we want to have a chance to win ourselves the Stanley Cup this year. So rest of it's going to stay the same. Obviously, once Bure comes back from injury, we'll probably throw him in, though, and try and give him some elevated ice time, because he does have good offensive skills, was a good depth forward for us this year, so he probably will go into the lineup to maybe push things a little bit for our team. So anyways, let's get to game number 5, see if we can take that series lead back. It's been kind of back and forth so far. Let's see if we can win on home ice and give ourselves a chance to potentially win the series in next game. So come on, boys, let's get her done. Let's have a good goaltending effort again and find our offense for the first time potentially in the series. First period, game number 5. Down 1-0. Kincaid scores on the power play. We're being outshot 12-7. I feel like we're getting consistently outshot in most of these games too. So I feel like we're more of a defensive team, even though we technically have a better offensive core than defensive core. It just seems like for some reason our team can't find ways to score consistently once it comes to the playoffs. Like, we're not getting that depth scoring we're used to. So I really need guys like Steen to show up in the second period, or else we might have to make more adjustments to try and get guys to get going a bit. Can we find a way to tie this game up in the second period? Second period. 2-1. I mean, we did tie the game up. Narena tied it up, but Kabanov restores the lead for the Blues. Shots are 20-15 in favor of them. We're kind of not really looking like a President's Trophy winning team with the offensive effort so far in this playoffs. And I am kind of scared about the cheese factor, but can we find a way to tie this game up in the third? We've had a third period comeback before. We got kind of lucky in that. Can we do it again? Can we take the series lead potentially? Come on, guys. Oh my goodness. We give up an early goal to start the third and another one. 2 in the first minute of play. 3 in the first 2 minutes of play. Not even. God damn, man. And there's another. Well, Spezza has had his worst performance at the worst time possible. Gianta's already allowed a goal too. I feel like we're literally going to get cheesed in the first round because of a 60-win season. That's why I don't want to win President's Trophies. That's why I don't want to win President's Trophies. And our offense, once again, does not show up. Our goaltending fell off a cliff in the first 3 minutes, or first 2 minutes of that third period. And then Morgan Frost scored as well on Gianta. And unfortunately, just like that, we're on the brink of elimination in round 1. We need to find a way to win 2 straight games. If we somehow win this round, I feel like we're not going to win next round because we're getting outscored almost every game here. So Narena from Steen and Kim is our only goal. So Steen does pick up a point. But we also show up our worst defensive effort. That is not good. A lot of -2s, including Zetterberg. And Hurd and all those guys. God damn it, man. Gianna was pretty good. He had to face 13 shots in 18 minutes, which is a lot. But yeah, Spezza definitely had his worst game yet. Was not expecting that after the way he started off the series, but we're going to have to make some adjustments. I don't think I'm going to start Gianna next game just because Spezza has been good for the most part. And another injury. Jordan Lee has been injured with an injured back. What, did he slip on a banana peel or something? Like, goddamn, man. He's out till the 26th, so it's not long term. But literally, we have suffered so much injuries this season as Bure is back, so at least that's going to help things a little bit. I don't even know what to make it with this team right now. Like, these injuries are definitely piling up way more than expected, so let's go take Ahinen out of the lineup for the time being. Actually, Bure was thrown into the defensive core because of the injuries. That's right, yeah. Who is scratched that? We don't have any depth forwards right now because everybody's injured. So I'm going to have to call up a defenseman from the minors. Oh my god. This is ridiculous. Who's going to come up from the minors? We do have some offensive help, but defensively it's going to be Ackerstrom or Bates. Obviously Bates played with us last year and stuff, so he does have experience. But Ackerstrom technically is better defensively, maybe? Yeah, he is. He's better shot blocking, better defensive awareness, better stick checking. Thomas Ackerstrom is going to get to make his NHL debut here in this playoffs because of the injuries. That's insane, man. I don't even know if the AHL team's in the playoffs. I don't think they are. Oh, goddamn, man. This is actually ridiculous. Like, the injuries are literally set to 9. They're set to 9. They shouldn't be happening this often. Of course, after we turn them on, they have to be such a big factor. Like, if we would have stayed healthy all of this playoffs, do you think we would have assimilated better? Honestly, don't know. So Ackerstrom and Whitfield will play together. Hurd and Narena will be on that top 4. And then we'll take Ahinen out of the lineup temporarily. Get Bure into the spot. Actually, Bure might stay in that exact same spot. We'll go back to Del Monte on the top line as well. I don't really know what else I could do here. Peterson's only got 1 assist. -6. God damn. And Steen's -2. Zetterberg -2 as well. We're going to take Zetterberg out for the time being and get back in Ahinen because Ahinen's more of a defensive option, so he's going to be on a 4th line here. But Bure being back in the lineup, will that help things? I honestly have no idea. He's never played an NHL playoff game before. Yeah, I don't really know if he's going to help us out that much, but there is guys that could call up from the minors, but I don't know if it's worth it. Spezza's dropped down to a 9-17 after that loss. Jesus, look at all these injuries. Zetterberg's a healthy scratch. Semenov is going to be like a depth goaltender still. He's going to get sent down when we're healthy, but Kolars is out, Lee is out, Tulipov is out. So we are literally losing 2 of our better defenders in terms of defensive play. And then we literally lost one of our best forwards offensively. These injuries have been a major factor this entire season. I really don't know what I could do to make this team simulate better. Like, even Ristolainen's only got 3 points. He's got 13 penalty minutes, so he's probably fighting people because he's frustrated. And rightfully so, these teams should be frustrated with how they're playing. I don't really know what else I need to do here to make this better. I think the rest of this honestly has to just stay the same. And I got to hope that having Bure back from injury will help us. But I honestly don't know if it will. He's been a good AHLer. He's had 21 points as a depth option in the NHL, which is pretty damn good. We'll see what he ends up doing, but we got to do a real-time simulation. See if we can fight off elimination and force a Game 7. If we force a Game 7, obviously we have a chance, but I really haven't liked the way we've simulated in this series, but also I can't be too mad. Probably it's the injuries that have set us back a little bit, but I'm not too sure. It could be also just a team as well. But can we get a response after a 6-1 loss and force a Game 7? We need a much better defensive effort. We need also our offense to be more consistent because... Actually, let me move my face back up to here for a second again. Literally 1 goal for, 2 goals for, 4 goals for, which is good. 1 goal for, 1 goal for. So we technically have had 4 games where we've only scored 1 goal. Well, actually 1 to 2 goals, I should say. And then there was 1 game where we actually scored more than 2 goals in, and that was a win that we just barely came back in the third period. So, I don't know. I think it's the President's Trophy curse. I just think it is. Like, this team should be a lot better than they're doing right now, but we just can't find ways to score goals. So, anyways, Game 6, we need the offense back. Can we find a way to force a Game 7 where anything could happen? If we get ourselves luckily into round 2, maybe we could still win a Stanley Cup, but I'm just not too sure on what to make of this team after a really good regular season. I definitely think it has to do with us winning the President's Trophy, though. I just do. But real-time simulation for this game. Let's get the goal scoring started for our team here if we can. Yes, we can. Okay, Staubitz opens the scoring. Good stuff, Captain. Love to see it. Staubitz has been probably one of the best offensive players on the team so far. Because him and Ristolainen did have a 3-point game. Harvey ties it up. Not ideal. That is a 4th liner, I think, scoring for them. And they get the lead for Frost. Damn, maybe I should have taken Spezza out of the lineup. Outshot 13-9 after the first period. Seems like the same story every single game. We get outshot after 1. We do not find our offense consistently. Not great. I mean, we are still in this game, so we need to have a strong second period here. We need to generate more chances, limit their chances, find a way to tie this one game up at least, or get that lead. So let's have a huge second period here, boys. Show me that you were that President's Trophy winning team. Show me, please. Can we find a way to tie this one up here? Come on. I want to see Ristolainen or somebody big on this team score goals. Penalty kill, nicely done. And they score a goal right afterwards as we almost were on the power play. Dalibor Dvorsky, that's probably going to write the rest of this game off. Almost, maybe not. Steen scores his first goal of the playoffs. That's good to see, but is it too late? We're down by a goal going into the third period. We're outshooting 27-23, so we have been generating chances, but we barely score more than a goal a game in this playoffs. Like our only our only wins were 2-1 and 4-3. So maybe we have a chance, but this is just tragic, man. Let's see what happens in this third period, see if we can tie this game up. We need somebody big to show up here. Power play for us. We do not score. Penalty kill. Stop taking damn penalties, guys. Okay, I'm going to intervene here shortly. Yeah, let's intervene. There's 7 minutes left. I'm going to intervene. I know this is a potential elimination game, so we might as well watch and see if our team can find a way to tie this game up, force a Game 7 as well. But this injuries, the President's Trophy curse, and the fact that we've had to rely on depth forwards and stuff like that a lot, I think has been a major telling point of the series. So let me actually just make sure that the audio is off for the music, which it is not, of course. Don't need no copyright strikes. You know the game. Come on, guys. We gotta force a Game 7. Just gotta find a way to tie it up, and then we could win this game still. We only have an 80 defensive rating right now, so I could probably see why we're losing games, but we should have the better goaltending. And yeah, I'm not too sure if I'm a fan of our road jerseys the way they look right now. They're a little bit bright on the numbers, to be honest, but let's see if we can find a way to tie it up. We still have a lot of time to try and tie it up, so Let's hope we got it. So here's Peterson with it. He gets destroyed by Lindstein. God damn. Get away, boys. Get away. Harvey walks in. Lindstein down the middle. Big block. I don't know who blocked that, but that's a big block. Whitfield behind his back. Burre up there, and it's with Peterson. He finds Capaduca. So we got literally our third line out there in this crucial time. Capaduca, great pass. Peterson. Hofer with a huge save. Damn, that was a great chance. I'm surprised Peterson got open right down the middle, but that would have been huge to try and tie this one up. Of course, Joel Hofer has to be a really good goaltender against us. He's literally an 80 overall. I don't understand the simulation with this game sometimes still. Ristolainen on the draw, so we got our top line out there. Bell to Zelino. Ristolainen, the assistant captain, throws it down to Staubitz. He's been really good in the series, but he lost it. Here's Peltier trying to get past Tuzolino, and he can't. Good job, Tuzolino, using that speed. Throws it up to Bell. Bell finds Staubitz. Back to Bell. I don't know why Bell's jumping up. He's a DFD, but he'll take it away again. Bell over to Staubitz. Staubitz with a clap shot. Turned away again by Hofer. Dalibor Dvorsky, their top line's been pretty good against us so far in the series. He finds it over to Kincaid. Turned away by Spezza. Oh boy, now they have pressure potentially. Get it away, guys. It's too late in this game to be running around in your own zone. And that comes out of the zone, luckily. Whew. Okay. Still a minute 57 left, but still down by a goal. We are out shooting them a lot, but we have just not been able to find a way to tie this game up. I don't like the offensive effort in the series for sure, but we need to find a way to just squeak out a win here, and then we can maybe win on home ice. So anything's possible. Here's Rick Kim. Kim walks in. Kim holding on to the puck. Still with it. Kim over to Doig. Over to the point shot. I don't know who that was, but that was a great chance. Turned away. We're almost into the final minute. Now we need to get possession so we can pull the goaltender. Kincaid walks in. That's blocked. Come on, guys. We can't be running around in our own zone at this point, as Spezza will freeze it. Oh yeah, I forgot that I gave him his Mlada Boleslav mask, because it looks pretty good with our jerseys. Looks pretty damn good. Come on, guys. 49 seconds left to try and tie this one up. And of course they win the face-off. Come on, guys. We literally have to try and tie this game up, or else we're going to lose in the first round when our team literally had the expectations of going to a cup finals potentially. We take it away. Kim to Steen. Steen shoots. Hofer to save. And we have 34 seconds left with a face-off in their zone, trying to find a way to tie it up. Can we get some late-game heroics? We almost have full pressure, too. So if we could get full pressure, anything could happen. Ristolainen on the draw, the good guy to take the face-off, because he's got good face-off percentage, but he lost it cleanly. Of course he did. And it's out of the zone. Get away, guys. Nice hit there, but nobody's defending. Oh my goodness, and they score. What the hell is with the AI in this game sometimes? Because that's like the worst. Like, when there's an empty net, they don't even know how to play. And literally one of our guys is getting sandwiched in between there. That is ridiculous, man. Well, this sucks. Like, what is the defensive coverage on this play? Like, why aren't you challenging this guy? You just let him walk in and take a shot. You're not even trying to block the shot, too. Like, you're literally fighting to stay alive in the playoffs, and you're not trying to block this shot. Like, he just lets it go by. I don't know. That kind of pisses me off, goddamn, man. And, of course, they have to show the coach and their team celebrating. We're literally going to lose in the first round. And there's a chance we might lose Spezza in the offseason. There's a chance we might lose other players. But this is really disappointing. I don't know what I would put it on, if it's just because we won the President's Trophy, or if it's because of the injuries. But something just didn't work this season for this team. 60 wins going to waste. Steen gets a good chance to try and get back within one again, but he's turned away. Hurd with a shot blocked. Tuzolino jumps in, can't get it through. Tuzolino's literally one of our extra attackers. That's actually weird. Nice hit there. I like that hit, but it's too late, boys. Kim, a shot turned away. And unfortunately, after a 60-win season and a President's Trophy winning season, your Albuquerque Aliens are out in the first round. Invisible players coming off the bench and all this stuff, but goddamn St. Louis, they take us out. We literally outshot them 42-29. I don't really know what the problem is. It's probably the injuries, or we could have a lot of statistical growth on our team. Cashman, the rookie, was a -3 in that one. Worst time for that. And Spets had an 893 save percentage. Oh, goddamn. At least we're still early enough in this draft to glory that we could still win a cup, but I don't feel like this team has been built up as good as my other draft to glories. I don't know what it is. It's just kind of strange. I like a lot of the players on this team, but when it comes to playoff time, guys just don't really do as much as they probably should. Well, let's wrap up this season, and then we'll obviously see who ends up winning the cup and all that stuff, but oh man, tough time. Everybody on our team was below point per game. Kim had 5 points in 6 games. Yeah, Stelwitz on 4, but yeah, the depth scoring was absolutely atrocious. Del Monte, Steen, Ristolainen, Stelwitz, and Kim, the only guys with over a point in that series. And then look at the plus minuses. Stelwitz, the only plus player. Peterson was a -6. Del Monte was a -5. Capaduca was a -4. And then we probably were taking too much penalties, I would guess. Ristolainen, 13 penalty minutes. Kim had 8. Yeah, maybe we were a bit too aggressive with some of these guys. But Kolar's injury, I think, probably was a big loss. Very big loss for our team. Risto, did he have any fights? He did have 1 fight in the playoffs. And also lost less than 50% of his faceoffs. So he didn't do good on the faceoff dot too, which is not like him. From a defensive standpoint, Narena had 3 points, but was -6. Ackerson played his 1 game and was okay in it, but not a good enough defensive play either. And then the goaltending, I mean, Spets had some really solid games early on, but those last few games, he definitely dropped off quite a bit. And then Gianna played a little bit. That's going to be an interesting question for our team next season. Is Spezza going to be the starter, or is Gianna going to be the starter? And Spezza going to leave the team? And then we're going to have to rely on like Semenov as a backup. Because I don't know if I could afford to pay Spezza for 8 years, to be honest. Damn. That sucks. That sucks. Literally, we had the expectation that our team could at least get back to like round 3, but to lose in the first round after 60 wins? I don't know. I think that's just a game basically saying, hey, screw you for winning the President's Trophy. You're not going to win a Stanley Cup. I don't know. Let's simulate to the draft and find out who wins the cup and all that. Retirements, all that type of thing. But completely injury-riddled season for the team. And it ends up biting us as Tulipov is back, apparently. I think Tulipov's injury also played a huge factor on the defensive side of things. Because he could have helped us out a lot. But wasn't expecting him to be out that long with an upper body injury. As Ackerstrom will get sent back down here. Let's go past lines. Kolars is back now too, so we can actually finally send down Semenov, who was meant to be sent down quite a while ago. But yeah, I'm disappointed. You guys are probably disappointed too. I thought that was going to be a really good playoff run too, potentially ahead, but nope, not the case. So who's going to win the Stanley Cup in 2036? The Chicago Blackhawks. So Connor Bedard gets it done. Texas wins the Calder Cup. So Chicago, the Stanley Cup champions. Goddamn. Who did they beat in the Cup Finals? The Philadelphia Flyers, a full-on rematch of 2010. That's interesting. And with Texas winning the AHL, it's kind of almost like what happened in real life, because in 2010, Texas lost in the finals to Hershey. So that's kind of interesting. So Chicago and Philadelphia going up against each other in 2036. So 26 years after that Cup Finals. Kind of crazy. All right. Let's take a look at these awards. So Chicago, the Stanley Cup champions. We won the President's Trophy. I mean, it's a thing for our cabinet case, but it doesn't really matter at this point. Chicago, Philadelphia Cup Finals. Connor McMichael, the Art Ross Trophy winner. That's a weird one. And the Hart. Quinn Hughes wins the James Norris for the 2nd consecutive year. 3rd in last 5. Clayton Keller, the Lady Byng. Boyce for the Islanders wins the Calder. Gerbeshkov wins the Conn Smythe for Chicago. Probably play next to Connor Bedard. Mankari wins the Vezina. What else we got here? Also wins the Jennings for Columbus. Hayden wins the Masterton. Jack Adams going to Columbus as head coach in NWA. And Ristolainen did win the Selke this year because of his face-off percentage. So Ristolainen is still winning hardware, which is great to see, but he's pretty much like a one-man show, it seems like, at this point. Like, he's not super good in the playoffs necessarily, but he's kind of like a one-man show during the season for the most part. other than Staubitz, I guess. Barkov with some awards as well. Any AHL awards for our AHL team, or no? Probably not, right? Yeah, no AHL awards, okay. Well, let's take a look at Ristolainen for a sec so we could see his amount of Selkies he's got now. It's been good to see him win a lot of Selkies, but he's already 28 now, so that kind of sucks. But 4 Selkies in his career, and he could probably play for like another 8+ years, so obviously he's got a good extension coming in next season. Hopefully he could help this team out a little bit more going forward. All right. So there is the awards to wrap up the season. Now let's find out the retirements, all that stuff. Take a look at the draft class, the progress reports. But we definitely got some tough decisions to make this offseason, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So Seattle moves from 10 to 1. You have Vancouver at number 2, Calgary at 3, Edmonton at 4, Toronto at 5, and Boston at 6. Wow, that's crazy. 4 Canadian teams in the top 5, and literally 4 of those top 5 teams are all in the Pacific Division, if I'm not mistaken. So that's kind of insane too. So a lot of good prospects are coming to the Pacific, apparently. All right, at least we aren't in the Pacific Division. In terms of retired players, what do we got? Sam Reinhart has decided to retire. Same with Mitch Marner, Dylan Larkin. Okay, so some pretty solid retirements. Obviously, we're not going to lose anybody because we're still a young enough team. Defensively, best defenseman, Jacob Chychrun, J.J. Moser. All right. Best goalie to retire, Philip Gustafsson, Samuel Ersson. All right. So there is the retirement class. All right. Coach retirement, did we lose anybody? We did lose Omar Volpati in Burnaby. And we did lose Radislav Groshek in Albuquerque, which I believe is our goalie coach, but I'm not too sure. So we did lose a couple coaches. So that kind of sucks. Maybe we should have changed our coach to the other coach in the playoffs. Because the coach that we had was good during the regular season, but in the playoffs he was not. We're not going to go to draft interviews. I'm going to take a look at that stuff after the fact. Let's go ahead to progress reports, and then we'll look at the draft class and then the contract situation. So progress reports. Looks like Staubitz. Yeah, Staubitz got some statistical growth. We also have Heatley, who was medium elite at one point, I think. He's up to a 78 overall at 24 as a low elite. A lot of natural growth, so he probably could jump to our NHL team next year as like a bottom 6 guy. I don't know if he's going to be a center. How good is his face-offs? 70. Yeah, he'd probably be better as a left winger. So, but he could get in maybe as a depth option, something like that. Staubitz, we already saw. Ristolainen's on statistical. Hurd is up to a 79. That is natural. Good to see. He's actually listed as a top 4 defenseman as well. Anything else? Gianna is up to an 83. Listed as a starting goaltender. See, that's where I'm a little bit like, hey, maybe we let go of Spezza. Narain is up to an 84. Mostly statistical or all statistical. Cashman got a bit of growth. Lee a bit of growth. Spezza didn't get any more growth, but he's a 90 overall apparently. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to afford bringing him back. Oh, man. And then Lambert's a 77. I thought it said he was an 80 before, but he could be NHL bound next season potentially. He's listed as a depth forward, so. In the system, any good prospects get any good growth. Let's start by potential. Mathers is up to a 64. Heracala is 71. Hennessy up to a 70. Patrick, the Enforcer, is up to a 64, so that's the low elite Enforcer. That's kind of interesting. All right. We'll see how he continues to develop. He could play in the AHL probably soon, but maybe not yet. Malash is up to a 74. Peterson a 74. Doig is 71. All right, looks like some of our low elites are growing, which is good, but still some of them are not growing as much as I'd expect. Like Martin Corso just had a good year. 32 goals, but he's only a 70 at 21. Delisle, who has not got his ELC yet, could probably crack our lineup next year as well. So that's an interesting one. I think he might be AHL eligible though too, so we could play him in the AHL maybe for a season if we want. This low top 6D got a lot of growth. That's kind of interesting. Okay. Yeah, I don't really know what the heck this team's going to look like next season at this rate. All right, so there is that. let's go on over to this draft class. First, though, where are we drafting? Probably pretty high up, right? 29th. All right. Well, let's take a look at the draft class and see what we could snag up potentially this offseason coming up. So we know that there's a franchise player, but 29th, what could we snag? Can we get any really good steals? White Alexi. Okay. White Alexi looks good. We do need defensive help, so maybe that's the thing we take. So White Alexi's nice. Cam Aubrey's before our pick, probably. Emmanuel Gauthier is before our pick. Sean McLeod. No, thank you. Maybe. Oh, there is still Alvin Ashton. I forgot about him. He's a low elite sniper. We did have him pinned. But do we go for defensive help? Because we already have a good chunk of offensive guys. Ashton still would be interesting. Cesar Leneveux. Ooh, actually looks pretty good. 1 year out. Interesting. So probably between Alexi and Leneveux would be good. Huh. I'm just curious if one of them's a low lead and one's a top 4. Maybe I should have done some draft interviews. Okay. So at least there's some okay prospects. There's another medium elite, though, a DFD in Cuba. So he's another guy that could be our first rounder. He's not as good, but he has better potential. He's 20 years old, though. So, But looks like there is some steals to have in this draft, which is good. Is there any other guys? There's a medium elite goalie. We'll just pin him anyways. Medium elite center in Caden Comrie. That's an interesting one. All right, we'll pin him since he's a playmaker. Tuomainen, another 20-year-old medium elite. We'll pin him, I guess. Any low elites? This could actually be an interesting draft for us. It could be. Low elite two-way defenseman in Tuomainen. He's supposed to go second round, though. Probably don't get a chance to get him, unfortunately. All right, so some decent players in this year's draft coming up. Final thing is the contract situation, which is always the most dreadful thing to look at. We have some outstanding RFAs. Let me move my face down here so you guys can see it a little bit better. Kim is a pending RFA. He's going to be wanting to get a lot of money. We can't see how much he's wanting, though, because of the fact that because we qualified him last offseason. I think it's glitched out still. Peterson is trying to get not too much. So that's good. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of organizational interest, though. Steen's a pending UFA. That's one where I'm like, does he come back next season? He wants $6 million, but he didn't show up really at all in the playoffs. But if we lose him, Peterson would probably basically take over that top 6 center spot. It's a bit of a revolving door, I guess. Tulipov is a pending RFA. He only wants a 1-year deal at $6 million. That would walk him right to free agency, basically. And if you go to 8 years, this guy has no interest in an 8-year contract. Oh, man, a lot of these guys might want to leave literally after the season, too. Yeah, damn. Cashman only wants a 1-year deal. At least he still has RFA status. Degg might want to be going to free agency, too, soon. 2 years, and then he's a pending UFA. Like, a lot of these guys don't want to commit too long-term. Like, that's what has me concerned. Heatley wants a one-way deal. All right, well, at least that's beneficial. I mean, technically, we could get Heatley in and we could let go of Steen in a way, but I think our center depth is just getting worse and worse. But there is a chance Cashman could be a decent third-line center by next season. There's Lee, who's a pending UFA as well. Oh, my goodness. He wants $2.5 million. And then you have also some of our prospects that are getting close, like Lambert. Oh, man. Oh, this is not good, man. Spezza, though, being a pending UFA, that's the big one. What is he trying to get? He wants a 6-year deal at 8.825. That's not terrible. Would you guys do that? Or would you just let him go because Gianta's technically listed as a starter, and then we could run Semenov as a backup until basically Harakala is ready to take that backup spot? Or is that going to make our goaltending too weak? Man, we have tough decisions. Of course, after a bad run like that, we have to run into stuff like that. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Albuquerque Aliens Draft to Glory franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll take it to another offseason. We're going to make some tough decisions. Hopefully this team's still looking pretty solid next season, but I am a little bit worried that we're not going to be a competitive team super long term. We're going to go back to rebuild territories. People are going to want to leave after a few years. Like, I feel like this year is definitely a lot tougher to win in drafting glories. Like, it feels like to me, just because of the new ways with the do the contracts and stuff like that, we're almost going to be losing players a lot faster than we did in the past with like my other series that I've done, like Anchorage and all that. So let me know down below, and I'll see you guys next time.